How much people spend and save. Yes, you will be saving in your first year of retirement. For those of you who are going, huh? Huh? I'll get into it in a second. I've got a bunch of ways that you will be spending in your first year of retirement, and also some ways that you'll be saving in your first year of retirement. I got all this from Yahoo Finance. So guys, leave me some comments. Whoa, I'm getting all excited about this. Leave me some comments. For those of you who have retired already, what did you find yourself spending on in your first year of retirement? You know, you got all this money in the bank. You've been saving and saving and saving for years, right? Now you can spend it. You're retired. Also, what have you saved? Did you notice yourself saving anything? Leave us comments for those of you who already gone through this so the rest of us can learn from this, okay? So again, I'm getting all this from Yahoo Finance, and it's kind of tricky though, because in your first year of retirement, all those years you have been saving, 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 and now you'll be spending. Going from that saving to that spending mentality can be very tricky for some people. I know it was for me. It took me a while to get used to that, to kind of ease myself. To be honest, it took a good couple years to ease myself into that new attitude of, okay, I guess I can spend, right? It's tough for some people. So we'll look at the biggest parts of the saving and the biggest parts of the spending, the expenditures. So let's go to the biggest expenditures first. And first of all, if you guys are seeing me for the first time, this is a retirement channel for people on moderate income. If that's something you think you might like the video and think about subscribing as well. So I've got 4 big areas that you will be spending in your first year of retirement. Number 1, debt. Okay, a lot of people say, financial advisors, just print media, you should try and retire debt-free. Okay, a lot of us don't. Hey, I'm not one to talk. 6 months into my retirement, I bought a house. Okay, so I've definitely got mortgage debt. But the amount I paid for the house and the amount I'm paying monthly on my mortgage payment per month is half of what I was paying in rent in the years before I retired in Los Angeles. So I'm okay with that. So a lot of people that may have been their goal, to retire debt-free, right? They didn't quite make it, but they're so close to getting it done. So they continue doing that in their first year of retirement, which means 5 years down the road, they're not going to be spending on debt like they were in their first year. So that's one big expenditure. Number 2, this one's obvious. Vacations, bucket list items, right? You're sitting on this big pot of money. You could have been planning for the last 10 years. Hey, honey, where are we going to go when we retire? Well, I want to go here and here and here and here. You might take care of 2 of those and here's in the first year. They could be big ticket items, right? I don't know, maybe a 2-week Mediterranean cruise, whatever. You're going to be taking care of a lot of that in the first year. You're going to be spending more money in the first year on vacations probably than any other time during your retirement, according to Yahoo Finance. All right. So bucket list items, same thing. I mean, those usually are probably like vacations. But hey, I don't know. For some of you crazy new retirees, you could say, I've always wanted to own a Ferrari. Now, for those of us on moderate income retirement, probably not. But there are those who have been waiting and waiting, and they're finally retired, and they finally got time instead of their 70-hour-a-week job that they can ride around in their new Ferrari. So that first year, vacations, bucket list items. Number 3 out of 4 of the biggest expenditures, relocation costs. Okay, for a lot of you, you may be downsizing. You may have had this planned for years. Honey, once we retire, the kids are gone, we're getting out of here and we're moving to Rancho Cucamonga. So yeah, relocation costs, okay? I mean, you got to hire the movers. Everything is different. You've got to establish new utilities, everything will be different. There'll be costs of just, storage, whatever. Relocation costs for a lot of people in that first year retirement are huge. Dare I say huge. Number 4, healthcare. Maybe this should have been up there as number 1. Okay. Especially if you're retiring early, you got to figure out what you're going to do in healthcare. All right. I mean, for all these years, if for those of you who are working for other people, for companies, your healthcare, your company is taking care of that for the most part, right? Man, especially with going into 2026, ACA has worked beautifully for me since I retired back in 2021. 2026, I'll still be using it, but it's not going to be the same charge. All right. Healthcare, for those of you who haven't planned for healthcare before retirement, man, you better start planning. For those of you who haven't retired yet, start planning now. Okay. It could be a big, big surprise to you when you get there. Healthcare charges can run through the roof. So yes, I should have mentioned this first under biggest expenditures, but it is 1 out of 4. Healthcare, once you have it nailed down, okay, after that first year, your first year, you might have got a plan that it's not that good. 2, 3 years down the line, if you retired early before Medicare age, you might discover a great plan because you've had more time to research it, right? But that first year could be pretty pricey. Biggest savings. Biggest savings. Work expenses. Okay. Commuting, tolls, parking, lunches out, wardrobe. Yeah, those are all things you don't have to pay for anymore. Or in case of commuting and, tolls, drastically reduced, right? It's a big, big difference, guys. I mean, they predict that you can get by on 75 to 85%. I'm doing better than that. I'm getting by in probably like around high 60s, okay? So that is the biggest part of your savings right there. All those work expenditures, right? But this is one that I never really thought about until I was already retired. I don't know why, but maybe it's just me. Tell me if you guys are the same way, if this slipped your mind too. The second biggest savings, retirement contributions. I never thought of that. I don't know why. So retirement contributions / payroll deductions. If you are age 55 to 64, in a 55 to 64 age household, they spend more than $11,000 per year on personal insurance and retirement contributions. $11,000 a year. So most of those people 50, 64 are not going to be retired yet, okay? Ages 65 plus, most of them will be retired, only spend $3,000 a year. That's a big savings. Top that up with number 1. You can get by in 75 to 85%, and you've got a lot of savings there. A couple of those, like what I did, the retirement contributions, I totally forgot about. That's a big amount of savings. So guys, that's not bad at all. So total expenditures, what Yahoo Finance says, in the first year, retirees may spend 10% of their liquid assets. Okay, you guys know I'm a proponent of the 4% rule, right? Which means you're not going to be spending more than 4% in any given year. Adjusted for inflation, of course. Retirees in their first year may spend 10% of their liquid assets versus the 4% that is typical throughout the rest of their retirement. That's a big, should I say huge again? Huge difference, right? So there you go, guys. That's how much you can be predicted to spend on average for most average people in the first year of retirement. 10% of your liquid assets. That's pretty scary, right? Now, if you realize this before you get into it, okay, maybe it might not be so scary. Especially those going by the 4% rule. It's like, oh, honey, we're going to be going through about 8% this year. Don't worry, hon, it's only our first year. If you realize that and then you cut back to normal spending, shouldn't be an issue, right? So, guys, yeah, it's a big change. That first year of retirement, it is a big, big change. Going from a saving to a spending mentality, for those of you who haven't done it yet, and you're thinking, wow, man, I got all this money in the bank. Why am I going to be nervous about spending it? Wait till you get there. Just wait till you get there. And on top of that, you're thinking, well, my money's supposed to last me 30 years. I got to be really, really careful. Yeah, that's a mindset that's kind of tough to overcome until you get into a couple years of retirement. Like right now, I'm in my 4th year. It took me a while to get comfortable with that. It might take you a while as well. Okay, so there you go, guys. There's my video. And as always, from the lovely high desert where it's pretty darn windy out there today, we got this.